Hey guys, Carlos Cortez here. Man, do I have some information I would like to share. This podcast is going to be more, I feel I have to talk about the doom and gloom. I don't want to be adding to the doom and gloom that's out right now. But you guys need to know the severity of what is actually happening. Slowly, but more quickly than so slowly. There is, we are actually going in from a debt slave to a digital identity slave. This comes in the form of several different masks and in the form of several different ways. Everybody is scared about the CBDC, the digital dollar, the dollar's crashing, but all of this is under an umbrella of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence matched with surveillance is really, really going to thrive the 2030 agenda. And CBDCs and a digital dollar is just one little aspect of a bigger plan. So this podcast, I just wanted to talk about certain things about how artificial intelligence is destroying America and is making you become a slave into a digital concentration camp. And I want you to understand what that is. This podcast is for educational purposes only. I am a financial advisor. I am securities licensed. This is not investment advice or financial advice. Only seek advice from a licensed professional. If you have any concerns about your retirement during this whole debacle, give us a call, 813-448-3446. So what is the CBDC? The CBDC has a lot of, it's a central banking digital currency. And so what it basically is, it's simply a blockchain form of way of sending payments to each other. And it's a digitally controlled. The Fed now is here. Like I said in multiple podcasts, the Fed now is warming up to obviously having two types of CBDCs. And one of them is called a retail CBDC. Retail is where you can actually shop, you can buy goods and services. And the second type would be a wholesale CBDC, where banks can communicate with each other. They can send cross-border payments. They could, businesses to businesses, merchants to merchants can send and receive and cash out through the wholesale CBDC system. But all in all, none of this happens without one major element, and that is AI, artificial intelligence. So as the banks are crashing, the government is almost setting this up. The government is in partnership with this 2030 agenda, as you know. And if you follow the World Economic Forum, they're talking about this in Davos. There's 5 different elements of what the actual World Economic Forum wants to do. And basically their goal is to redefine what a social contract is. That's like their major thing, a social contract that you and I never signed up for. Number 2, they want to decarbonize the economy, the whole global warming, the green energy, blah, blah, blah. And as you guys know, I've said this multiple times, they want to hyper digitize everything. Digitization is the word that they're using in Davos. They also want to get rid of capitalism and promote stakeholder capitalism. So what that basically means is the stakeholders, not shareholders, but the stakeholders will determine how the company operates. And it better be in the best interest of this 2030 agenda, the New World Order agenda. You guys probably heard the New World Order. It is basically the World Economic Forum. And the fifth component of their agenda is obviously that every country in their World Economic Forum. Every company abides by all 4 rules. So that's the 5th rule. So because of that, we've had this pandemic. Now, step 2 is words like, so there's 3 steps for them to implement this. The first one is going to be create a pandemic, which they've already had, a scandemic. 2 is, what is a new normal? So if you've heard these words the past 2 years, oh, it's the new normal. It's the new normal. We use Zoom. We use artificial intelligence. We use technology to conduct business. We use all these things, cameras. Now that they got you, now there is a great reset. And that great reset basically means we're just going to reset everything and go from a debt slavery system, which we're in right now. We have banknotes. We have people buying cars that they can't afford. The banks lending out money. The people that they can't afford. We're a slave to debt. Inflation is skyrocketing interest rates. Credit card uses is up over 42%. I mean, just a massive amount of credit cards being used right now because people can't afford their normal goods that they currently buy with their normal paying jobs. So credit card uses are high, and also the rates are almost predatory for the consumer. So they're going to say the words new normal because they want to implement this great reset. The reason why I want to talk about this today is because artificial intelligence is designed to track and trace you. I've been saying this all along, and it's not just financial. It is transportation. It is medical. It is in the academia world like crazy. So we're going to talk about that with the Human Capital Index. What is it? Why is it such a big thing? Why is the primary reason is your children? So I had to take some notes as I was doing some research, and a lot of this was just given to me from a vision, as well as backing it up with several interviews I've done some research, and what I know from the financial aspect of things. I honestly thought the CBDC was just to trace you, but there's a bigger agenda, and we all know that there's always a bigger agenda, and the CBDC is just one little small element of a bigger plan. So artificial intelligence, guys, we need to avoid this like the plague. I know they're making it seem like it's the greatest thing since life spread. But as you go on Facebook and you go on TikTok and you go on Instagram, there are these chat bots or AI bots that will, you could tell it whatever you want and it'll create anything you want and type it up within seconds. So I was driving with my brother-in-law to my son's hockey tournament just 2 weeks ago. We're in Providence, Rhode Island, very cold up there. And he was like, let's talk to the chat bot or the AI bot. And he says, Carlos, Matt, and Nathaniel are in a rental car and create a poem about playing hockey. And literally it was like probably 2 or 3 seconds it calculated, and it create this poem that I thought was kind of, at the time, it was really, really fascinating how it all rhymed, and it was unreal. Like, it was actually very creative. And then I started realizing, wait a second, I got caught in the moment, and how creepy that was, and how disgusting and violated I felt, because we're literally tied to this matrix. We're not as free as we thought we were. And all this data that the artificial intelligence are using, see, I know that they're using it. The Wall Street banks are using it to trade against you. I know this artificial intelligence has been around for years, and they've been planning this since the 70s and the 80s through these World Economic Forums and other global summits that they've had in Rio de Janeiro and all these these summits that they've had, they've been planning this for decades, guys, and it's starting to unravel. As a matter of fact, the WEF reports, it's 2023 right now, they report in 5 years, in the next 5 years, the whole landscape is going to change. I have no idea. I have an idea, but I don't know how we're going to react as a country. I don't know how we're going to react as normal people or what is going to be taken from us, but I do know how to stop it. And so, but I want to talk about certain little intricacies that I want you to just be aware of, because I wasn't aware of the chat bot or the AI bot. I'm sorry, how effective and scary that is at the same time. So what does this mean? We have a retail CBDC. Yes, they're going to trace and track what you're spending, how you're spending. They're going to want to implement the digital dollar. They're going to try to do all these things to control your dollar. Other countries have already, some have successfully have a digital score, a digital identity, a social credit score. China is going crazy, and Klaus Schwab is trying to create this World Economic Forum where President Xi to mimic China. They think China is running the world effectively. They promote communism. They want AI tracking everything. There actually hasn't been a lot of reports of how this is affecting their economy and how this is working, because China has everything censored. So, but what they have done, guys, is they've created these smart poles. They've created millions and millions and millions of cameras and sensors everywhere. There's lights that are radars called lightdars. There's radars, there's sensors, there's cameras. All these cameras have facial recognition software. And basically, it will your face will be your new digital ID. And through the blockchain and artificial intelligence together, they're going to be able to facially recognize everything about you. And so there's something called ID as a service, IDAS, and IDs as a service. There's American companies that are actually thriving in ID as a service. And what it is your face is going to be your new digital fingerprint. You see it with our phones, you see it with our laptops, and everywhere you go, even how you travel, they have all this in. And through this facial recognition software that becomes your digital ID, they can also track your behavior. They can track your internet searching. They could track pretty much your financials. They could track a lot of things that will put you in a digital concentration camp. This is what they want, because they want everybody to comply. They don't want the Stu Peters of the world. They don't want the Carlos Cortezes of the world. They don't want you, the listener of the world. They don't want patriots. They don't want people that are going against them. They want people to conform. And if you don't conform, with a switch of a button, they can send they can send child services to get your kids. They have artificial dogs, robots that will monitor the streets. If you protest, your score goes down. If you post something negative on social media, your credit score goes down. If you don't show up to a restaurant at your reservation or a movie theater that you bought, or you don't do good with your family, your credit score goes down. If you are hurting the economy or doing some type of infractional thing against what is not ethical in their eyes, you're hurting your credit score. If you're on a date, online dating, and you don't show up and the person says, hey, my blind date stood me up, your personal credit score goes down. I mean, the list goes on because they have us tracked. They have cameras, they have sensors. I mean, they are just literally going crazy. If you're walking your dog and you don't pick up the crap and your neighbor reports it, your credit score, social credit score goes down. So there's punishments and there's rewards with this public credit score, social score. In China, like if you have a low social credit score, they will plaster your face and shame you publicly on billboards and movie theaters. Will they do that here? I have no idea. I mean, do you trust the government with your money? Do you trust the government with your digital identity? What we can do is actually create awareness that when we use these cameras, or be aware that when you're walking around, there's cameras that are collecting AI. They have to have this data. And now they're attaching the data with your blood, with the jab, with the COVID test, and all these vaccines. Oh, and if you don't take a vaccine, your credit score is like in the tank. So they're going to be able to track everything, how you treat your dog, the laptops, the tablets that your children have, the way you're talking to them, if your tone is wrong, if you're yelling at them, if you're spanking them, if you're doing something as a bad parent or a good parent in their eyes, disciplining them, like how I discipline my children. I still believe in spanking when it's due. Like we would go to wherever they want to do with us if we accept this social contract, this digital identity. They're doing it in China. They're trying other countries are trying to mimic China. And it is really, really scary, like how much control they have. So once again, I wanted to do some research on CBDC, but then it led to AI, and then I started reading about AI, and I've known about artificial intelligence through financial tradings and indicators and all these things and how powerful that is in itself. But it goes further than that. It goes beyond this show. It goes beyond me and what my research. This is about humanity. This is about literally trying to destroy your freedoms, making you become a slave to your digital ID. So what do we do, guys? Your digital ID, if they ever come out and they cut us off on the internet, do not accept the digital ID social contract. Guys, this is the mark of the beast the Bible talks about. The AI is the beast. And in order for the beast to work, you have to keep feeding it with data and data and data. So everything that has data, it could be your phone, it could be the internet, what you're typing, it could be the blood you're donating. It could be pretty much everything that you're doing. Just keep in mind that there is a robot that is calculating all those moves and making predictions, and it will not work if you don't sign up for the CBDCs. It will not work if we don't hit agree on those disclosures on your Facebook app. It will not work if we use the dollar. It will not work. We don't have to use a CBDC. I don't care what the government says. It is not a good thing. They're going to roll it out and make it seem like it's, like I said, greater than butter. You, the patriot, are going to decline it. So there's going to be benefits and punishments. They want to do this within 5 years. I mean, 2030 is right around the corner, guys. So, like I said, I wanted to talk about CBDCs, but then it led to artificial intelligence. And then I started reading up on these smart poles, which are already out. The smart poles are ridiculous. So the smart poles, they have these posts in the middle of the sidewalks and the streets all over. And these smart poles have these lights that can be weaponized. There's LED technology that would disorient you. They're so bright that it messes up your vertigo. It disorients you. It causes you to breathe different. You see one light and then one rapid light comes at you and it messes up with your frequencies, your electronics, nervous system, and you become compliant, almost like a taser-like device on these lights. So if an artificial intelligence camera is scanning you and you have a gun in a no gun zone area, then the light would just stun you right there. There's also charging ports. So if as your cell phone, you're basically giving them your data on your whereabouts. And this is not just on smart poles. These are going to be it's happening in airports right now. As you plug in your phone into the electrical sockets, they have the technology to pull the data from the electrical port and find everything else about you. So AI is bigger than you and I. It's a massive beast. They're going to use AI to try to control us. So once again, the solution here is don't accept this digital social credit score. Don't use the CBDCs. You don't have to use it for now. You need to know about it. And they're going to crash the banks. They're going to make it seem like the CBDC is the way to go because it's safer. It's more effective, like they did with the jab. The reason why they want the jab, because we all know that you're going to be connected to a computer through all those nasty particles. Lord knows what's in it. I know there's a lot smarter people than I am when it comes to the jab, but bottom line, it's not good for you. And I believe that there's ingredients in there that is electronically communicating with the big AI system. Fiber optic cabling, right? Fiber optic cabling. So all this doesn't work if we don't have this fiber optic cabling. So this is why they're promoting defund the police, because they are going to get these robots, artificial intelligence robots like the dogs. These guys seen these robo dogs that have the camera and the sensors, and they can sense if you have a gun, or they can sense if you're a bad person or a resistant person, and they can send a whole team out to put you in a digital concentration camp. I hope we never get to see this, but it could be here in the next 5 to 7 years, according to their plan. The good news is what we can do today is not accept this digital identity. Do not accept this social contract. They're doing it in China, and Klaus Schwab wants basically nothing more but the whole world to be like China. Also, they're going to use subscription-based models, because if we are active in a CBDC system, it's going to be convenient to pay for things in a subscription-based model, no ownership, so they can take it away from you anytime they want. And you have to have this subscription-based model in the CBDC to pay your bills, and they can just take it away. So you'll see everything in the next, it's going that way now. Everything is subscription based. Cancel anytime. It will just deduct from your account on the first of the month. Well, if you don't comply and if you don't have a nice digital score, you're not going to be eligible for a subscription model. So if you have a car, we already know that transportation as a service is a subscription model basis. And the other thing is the CBDC is going to hurt the financial banks. Like, it's going to literally almost just take them out. And you cannot run this country without the financial firms. Like, the financial services is literally one of the biggest part besides real estate. the big pharma and real estate, the financial services industry is part of the government's top revenue making sectors. So you need financial services, and the way to control people is through their money, and they can't control people without artificial intelligence. So like I said, this is bigger than CBDC. This is bigger than a digital dollar. It is actually more about artificial intelligence enslaving you to their woke agenda. So the other aspect of it is we want to avoid ESG, because environmental, social governance, they're just showing you right point blank in their face. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. The ESG, I used to think it was about promoting the LGBT agenda. No, it's about promoting the AI agenda so that they can have this digital score system, this social credit score system to help you comply with their needs. So that's what ESG is. You can't have ESG without AI. You can't have any of this without the blockchain and AI. This is why people are buying precious metals. I don't think precious metals is going to do you any good when it comes to AI. Maybe it can, but I don't know. If you're in the matrix, and we all are, your precious metals is not going to be your savior, guys. What is going to be your savior is getting on your knees, asking Jesus Christ in your heart. That's the only way. And not conforming to the CBDC garbage, and definitely not accepting this digital social credit score. They're going to take away your business. Your way to conduct business. They're going to try to take your guns. They're going to try to take your gold and silver. They want you to become compliant, like the Chinese. Silence. Like they don't even want you going on the internet and posting anything. So there's going to be a benefits. There's going to be a benefits program, and there's going to be a punishment program, and it's going to be based on how you comply, how you conform, and how you're helping the ESG 2030, the liberal anti-God movement. This is their plan, and this is the Great Reset unfolding as we speak. I can talk about the financials, I can talk about banks, and take your money from the small banks, and I know small banks, I know a lot of people have Wells, Bank of America, and the big four banks, and Chase. But going to a smaller bank, yes, it's safe for short term, but the long-term goal, the 2030 goal, is literally to enslave you to artificial intelligence so that you have no choice but to comply. They may not be able to do that with my generation, but they're going to try with your children. And this is why they're so big into programming your children with TikTok, and how Disney's always had a hard on, literally, for little kids, because they want to program them. They want to associate themselves with this 2030 Luciferian garbage and destroy America in the process. So child data is the most lucrative asset to this artificial intelligent beast that is already in the making for years now. It's called a human capital index. In this particular index are companies that thrive off of digital ID scores, are companies that are promoting this ESG agenda. This is why stupid face Biden wanted to promote ESG in 401ks, so they could rapidly turn and reset into this new global new world order with this social credit score. This is what they want, guys. They want to socially credit everybody and have a public score system. This is what they want. They don't care about what the Constitution says. It doesn't abide to them. They have no reverence towards it at all. And honestly, it is disgusting what is happening. Absolutely disgusting. So I don't like talking about doom and gloom without having a solution. What I can tell you, I feel it in my heart. I discern it, that I will be here. My biggest commitment to you guys, as listeners, is to find ways to protect you. And it's not from stock market losses. Some of you have lost money in the stock market, and I get it. The bond market crashed going into safety last year, 28%, I believe. I get it. And if you're older and retired, I get it why you're panicked and scared, but you shouldn't be panicked and scared because you probably won't see the junk that I will see. You probably won't see what my kids will go through. And now's not the time to play the victim card, because there's no responsibility in playing the victim card. You get angry, you get frustrated. There's no freedom in that. You participate in doom and gloom. Even though this is a doom and gloom podcast, I want you guys to understand that when you take responsibility, there's freedom in that. You become confident. You become free spiritually and financially. You have a sense of confidence and fulfillment and purpose in life when you flip all the negative into a positive and take responsibility. Life happens for you, not to you. We the people are still we the people. We still are America. If you're a listener to this podcast, I'm telling you, before they cut us off, like they're already doing it with my little show, Scriptures and Wallstreet, on Rumble, I'm on page 4 and 5. Like, type in my name, Carlos Cortez, and you'll see it yourself. All my podcasts with 50, 60, 70,000 views are like buried. They're going to try to censor shows like this. They're going to try to put this social credit score. It's not going to work because you're not going to accept it. That will be the mark of the beast, the digital ID system, and it will be your face. It will be your face. AI and ESG, they go hand in hand, man. They go hand in hand. And now it all makes sense that Joe Biden wants ESG in all of retirement portfolios. And ESG is a cover-up for artificial intelligence, which promotes the CBDCs and the smart poles and the fiber optics and the robo-dogs and your tracking of the iPhones and your tracking of the blockchains, and just completely handing over the keys digitally to the whole world or to the government so that they can put you in a digital concentration camp. It's pretty scary stuff, guys. Actually, the biggest countries in the world will have the biggest AI systems. And whoever has the biggest AI systems, wars will be fought with artificial intelligence. They will no longer require humans. It is absolutely insane. Like, we're living in futuristic times right now. So how this affects your retirement is you need to understand that, yes, precious metals do help. Okay. Precious metals do help. I do like purchasing precious metals through Cornerstone because they don't charge high commissions. 888-747-3309. And they're great God-fearing patriots. You need to start using your US dollar. One of my web designers actually told me that he was at the Phoenix Suns basketball game. His daughter is a huge basketball fan, and they did not even take cash. And he was upset that they didn't take cash at the concessions or anything. It's happening little by little by little. Every municipality in the United States, they're trying to go to a cashless society to promote the CBDC nonsense. Don't conform to it, guys. If you have a big bank, take some money out, put some in your pocket, buy a little bit of precious metals, go to Cornerstone, take some money, go to a smaller community bank, ask them what their stance is on the CBDC, on the Fed Now program. Just ask them. They got to tell you. And if they say, oh yeah, we love the Fed Now program, or if they are a very conservative bank and they want to protect privacy laws, they're going to say, nope, we're going to have nothing to do with it, even if we have to lose our FDIC membership. I'm telling you, the ones that have the FDIC membership means nothing anymore, because now the FDIC, what they want to do is they actually want to get rid of the $250,000 limit and just have all business accounts secured, not personal. And they want to just get rid of the FDIC insurance limits, which goes to the taxpayers. And if you don't have a good credit score, social credit score, guess who's going to pay back those bank bailouts? Guess who's going to pay higher taxes? Remember I said there's going to be punishment and rewards for this digital social credit score. You're going to be responsibility. And we're starting to see that right now with this stupidity that Joe Biden wants to do with the mortgage rates. The first home time buyers. If you have a good credit score, you will get a loan, but also you'll get a higher interest rate. And if you have a bad credit and you can't buy a home, we'll just use the people, we'll create a fund for the good credit people that have been responsible so that you can have a home and you can be irresponsible and make the people that are responsible pay for it. Like, that's the incentive that Joe Biden is working on. So they want to get rid of capitalism, guys. This is not a secret, but I just was flabbergasted that how I was looking into CBDC. We get calls all the time. The dollar is crashing. I want to buy a gold IRA. And I'm like, why do you want to buy a gold IRA when gold is traded? There's no guarantee that gold and silver is going to go up, sideways, or down. But yet you want to buy gold, silver with your retirement, and you want to buy red money. It doesn't make sense. We still believe in contract law. We still believe in principal protection. Now, I'm not saying that gold and silver and precious metals is bad for you, but we need it diverse and we just need it diverse in a suitable, rational manner. Like, you don't need to take all your retirement and buy a gold IRA. First and foremost, the IRA is owned by the government, whether you're in Texas or not. And gold and silver is traded on Chicago Board of Exchange. Just same with artificial intelligence that determines the price of your gold and silver. So here's the thing, like, with these commodities, artificial intelligence can be taught, can be tailored. And as you try to go into precious metals, and it's controlled by the Chicago Board of Exchange, the pricing on it, and those pricings are being manipulated by big hedge funds that have artificial intelligence. You guys see what I'm getting at? If you have a social negative credit score, you could have your trades fall in the losing share or losing. You can get the bad end of the stick is what I'm getting at. So this really affects everything. And I really don't understand. I own precious metals. I'm not bashing it. I'm just saying that the government could use AI in theory, knowing what I know now, to manipulate the pricing. And they're already doing that now. So what you need to understand is you're going to have to find ways to create your own energy, find ways to have your financial resources in store, to have short-term situations where it will help you, to have the ability to not be commissioned into the CBDC AI garbage and stop investing in ESGs, stop investing in these woke companies. You're promoting the beast. You're promoting the beast by going through these companies that are world economic sensitive or showing their allegiance to them. Now more than ever, guys, you need to go patriotic. You need to find companies where you're spending your money that are not promoting this New World Order agenda. That's why I partner with Switch My Products USA. They're a God-fearing company. I buy all my deodorant, shampoos, detergents, breath mints, candles, air fresheners, wrinkle releasers from switchmyproductsusa.com. Go there, shop, and get your stuff, and quit buying this garbage from these people that want to promote this New World Order, this social credit score, this CBDC nonsense, this ESG nonsense. It's all under the same umbrella of tracing you and enslaving you through artificial intelligence. And yes, they do want to continue to jab. There's going to be over 500 vaccines in other countries that they're going to test. And if they don't do it, then their social credit score will go down. And those people are more vulnerable because they need to rely on their government. That's how they've been brought up. But we the people have power. So I just wanted to share my thoughts on the AI, how deep it is, from the light poles, the smart poles, to the LED weaponry, to the drones. They got weapon drones now, to your phones, to your tablets, to your kids' tablets, on how you're yelling at them, the microphones, the speech tracking on the light poles, as well as all the microphones everywhere. Get ready, guys. They're going to start tracking and tracing. I've said that all day long, man, all day long. So I still believe in our covenant process. We have precious metals. We have insurance contracts that is outside of the government's hand, that's based on your life with insurance companies. And we have market money as well, tactically managed, that has ability to get in the stock market should the stock market rally, but also has ability in treasury bills, so that you to go in treasury bills so that you can make 4 or 5% with hardly any capital risk. But my commitment to you guys is just to keep my ears and eyes and my discernment sharp, just to keep it sharp and give you my heartfelt, sincere, unapologetic opinion on what to do in these critical times that we're in right now. That's always been my heart and passion for this podcast, is just to let you know what's going on and what you can do to defend your retirement, what you can do to defend your liberties that you currently have before they try to inoculate us into a digital concentration camp. Go to switchmyproductsusa.com to buy your local stuff, to buy your everyday goods. If you want a analysis on your retirement, we've been helping tons of people. Go to CortezWM.com, Cortez, WM.com. The link's in the below. You can also go to AmericaFirstRetirementPlan.com if you're interested in tax-free income outside of the government control. AmericaFirstRetirementPlan.com. You can download our free guide. But more importantly, just give us a call, 813-448-3446 during Eastern business hours, 9 to 5. We have a team full of consultants, including myself. I still like to do consulting. We have my hand-selected team full of consultants that will give you a good consultation on how to defeat this tyranny that's happening with artificial intelligence and the CBDC. And it's a little bit of everything. So it's comprehensive, but check us out. We're more than happy to work with our God-fearing patriots. And we have a solution. We have a solution to stop this tyranny, this financial tyranny that's happening. And we're very proud that we are the pioneers in this God-fearing, true financial planning movement. So thank you for supporting us and watching the show. I hope this brought some awareness, at least, into what's really going on. And God bless you guys. And we are talking very, very soon. Bye-bye.